These are four bad habits that are killing and destroying men's mental health. In my last video, if you watched part one, I went over the first two, which was porn and lust, and now I'm gonna go over the next two. These are, in my opinion, the worst things that a man can do. These will destroy you. These will leave you empty, soulless, depressed. And wait till number four because a lot of people don't agree with it, but it's controversial. But I think it needs to be talked about. Let's get into it, man. Number three is gonna be social media. Now, a disclaimer, just like I gave in the last video, if I speak about any of these things, it's basically something that you do all the time. It's not something that you do in moderation, right? Like I got a PS4 controller behind me. I play video games sometimes, or PS5. Sorry, I play video games sometimes. There's nothing wrong with that. It's completely fine if you do it in moderation, here and there. Probably like an hour or an hour and 30 minutes a day, whenever you're free, stuff like that. So if you're on social media and it's done in moderation, a lot of people do that. It's completely fine. This is for people who are using it all the time and you know who you are. You need to cut this out. The first reason I think too much of it is bad for you is because if it can lead to constantly seeking people's approval. So you're posting an outfit, you're posting, like this cool reel or this video or some place you went to or some food that you ate, and you want people to approve of it. You want people to make you feel good. Like, hey man, good job, good outfit, very nice outfit, you looking good, and you eating this good food. And again, if you're doing it here and there's nothing wrong with it, but some people are so obsessed with this idea of being approved by everyone else. If you really want to move up in life, then these habits are killing you. They're bringing you down. They're bringing the worst out of you, and you need to cut them out completely. Social media is definitely one of those things. If you're using it all the time and you're trying to seek approval from it, if this is what you're doing subconsciously, it's destroying you. It's slowly going to get you to a point to where you don't feel good about anything you have unless someone else on social media, any social media, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, they approve of it and they make you feel good about it. Only then will you feel happy with what you have. Only then will you feel grateful. I don't think that's the right way to live your life. Another reason is you're in constant competition with others. You are trying to compete with everyone else. I know so many people like this. They'll post something like on their story, something like they're not even trying to flex, but they are trying to flex. It's like a weird flex. And it's like a low key flex, and they want to put it out there that hey, I'm not really flexing, but I'm flexing. Like hey, I got money, by the way. I got more money than you, by the way. Like hey, I got a car. Like I got a Lambo. Like it's better than yours. The car I drive is better than yours. Like people want you to feel that way. They want to make it known to you. And when you watch these people, when you're like looking at these people on Instagram or their stories or TikTok or Facebook, whatever, you're like, man, this guy's doing much better than me. You start competing with them. You're like, man, my life isn't good because I don't have the car that he has. I don't have the woman that he has. I don't have the money or the lifestyle that this person has. But it's just like it's just a fugazi. It's just a fugazi. It's just delusion. Literally, that's what it is. It's really not the reality of their life. It's just a highlight. It's just a good part of it. Now, this leads to another reason, which is low self-esteem. You start feeling, you don't feel that good about yourself. You don't feel that happy with the things that you have. Your car that you have, it might be a really good car actually to a lot of people. A lot of people might actually want your car, but you're like, my car is nothing because it ain't the Lambo that this person is driving, or my house isn't as big as this person's house. And it all leads to a low self-esteem, all of it, everything combined. The people telling you that your outfit isn't good enough, or the food that you eat isn't high class, the house that you have, the car that you have, all these things lead to a low self-esteem. You start feeling really low about yourself. You start feeling like ungrateful for the things that you have. And it almost gets to a point to where in life where something bad happens and you lose all the things that you were ungrateful for in the past, and now you look back and you're like, damn, those things were amazing. I wish I could just go back and get those things. Well, too bad, because you were ungrateful for it. As a Muslim, we have a saying in the Quran. I think it's like, the more you're grateful for something, the more I'll give you. I think Allah says that. So it's like it works the opposite, I'm guessing, as well. If the more you're ungrateful for something, the more he'll take away, because it's like, why am I even giving you this if you don't even feel any appreciation for it? You ever did something for someone and they don't appreciate you for it? You're like, what's the point of even giving this to that person? They don't even appreciate what I'm doing for them. Why would I give you something if you don't even feel any type of gratitude towards me? There's no point. I'd rather just take it away from you. And when it is taken away from you, you're like, damn, I wish I could just go back and feel that. And social media is subconsciously affecting you in that way. Again, too much of it, right? It's giving you a low self-esteem. And another one, the fourth reason, is Sometimes it can lead to brainwashing. In some cases, it can actually lead to you being brainwashed because you don't know what type of agenda people are pushing out there. You don't know what this Instagram channel or this Instagram page or this YouTube page wants you to think. They want you to think a specific way because it will help them, maybe politically or in a social way. Some way it'll help them, win over someone or gain some power or something. And you're being brainwashed by them. You don't know the agenda of certain people. You don't know the agenda. You don't know why they push out certain type of content, why they want you to see a certain celebrity, why they all these things. And that sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it's like it is true. Some people do have a certain agenda. If you stay off of social media, you're most likely to just not fall into that trap. You're better just studying the things you know what to study. Study your religion, study, history, learn some skill sets, do that, spend your time doing that, start a business, spend your time with all these things instead of just being on social media all the time because it won't really help you and benefit you in life. Now let's get into number 4. Now this is going to be very controversial. This is weed, marijuana. I don't think this is good for young men, and young men being from the age of 18 to 32. If you're a person who's from the age of 18 to 32, you should not be smoking at all. It is not good for you. And this is coming from me. I'm a person who used to love weed. I used to love smoking it, like rolling a joint, the smell of the joint, everything. It's just like weed was like my daily thing. Like I loved it so much, you have no clue. And I mean, alhamdulillah, now, praise God, it's been like 2.5 years since I stopped. But I used to love it so much. And it took me so long for me to just admit that, hey, this is not good for me. It is not taking me anywhere. And I have this little like notebook basically of all the things that I wrote down. Like, like when I do a video, I have like all these notes and stuff. For weed, I have like the biggest section. Like I have more things written down for weed than I have for anything else. Just because I have so much history with it. I understand it so well. I understand the people, the people who are addicted to it so well. I know, like, like I already know what you're thinking. I already know what you tell yourself, and it's not enough. This is for people who do it all the time. Like if you're a person who's doing it all the time, yes, this is an issue. For me, I was that person. I was doing it every single day, bruh. That was an issue. And this is weed is, people use it for medical reasons. I'm not talking to you about if it's for medical reasons. I'm talking about for the people who take it recreationally. I'm talking to y'all. You know who you are, right? Let me get into it. Number 1, it wastes time. Number 2, makes you lazy. Number 3, leads to more bad habits. All right, let me slow down. Let me slow down. Let me go one by one. Let me explain everything. How does it waste your time? Well, because think about all the time you smoked all the time you spent smoking with your friends and your buddies and rolling up weed and buying weed and you know chilling after you got high, hanging out with them, stuff like that. What was the point of that? It went nowhere. It did nothing. It brought you nothing at all. It didn't do anything for me. It didn't make me feel any good at all. I felt good for like probably like 2 3 hours, and then I'm back to depressed, back into the normal life that I was trying to escape from in the first place. It did nothing. Number 2, makes you lazy. How does it make you lazy? You are feeling such a good feeling with weed. You feel so good. You feel amazing. Sometimes you feel on the top of the world. It's not like alcohol. It's not like cocaine, right? So it's not that strong of a feeling, but it is a good feeling. And you're like, bruh, why would I work? Why would I do anything else to make myself improve in life? Like, why would I have any other motivation to improve myself in life when the best feeling I already have? You know what I'm saying? Like, I already feel so good. Why would I want anything else? That's how it makes you lazy. You get stuck in that mindset. You're just like, I can just go smoke weed and all my problems go away. Everything that I work for, it doesn't bring me not even a fraction of the feeling that weed can bring me. And weed is much more faster and easier to just get. Just like that, you're super lazy. Either while you're high or during the time frame that you've been smoking, you're lazy. It leads to more bad habits. How does it lead to more bad habits? Well, let's see. You start smoking, you start eating more. You start you don't really work out as much. Now you can keep it up and you can balance with it. Most people, they don't really work out as much. They actually eat more. I know a lot of people who have actually gained weight ever since they started smoking, and the people who cut down on weed, they start losing weight because you're like, man, I don't really have the munchies. I'm not really eating that much. So many more bad habits. You start playing video games for like 10 hours, or you want to watch like movies and stuff, and you start sleeping late. All these things come from weed. You think it's not affecting you. All of this, you're just used to it. That's what it is. But all of this is affecting you. What's another one? Lack of discipline or motivation. Same exact thing, right? It makes you lazy. You ain't got no discipline. You ain't got no motivation. Why would I get up and why would I work? Why would I go and start? Why would I go and start my business? Why would I go and pursue my passion and actually help change the world and actually make a shit ton of money and try to help people and influence people? Why would I be the best version of myself when I can just smoke weed and feel good and forget all about my problems and wake up tomorrow, do my basic day job that I hate, come back at night and feel like I'm back there all over again? You don't see an issue with that at all? Can't sleep or eat without it. I know many people who, when they stopped smoking weed, they realized, bro, I was so dependent on weed. I can't eat without it. I can't without weed. I can't eat without weed. I can't sleep without weed. It's gonna take you probably like a month or two just to reset your cycle of eating and sleeping because you were so reliant on weed. You were so reliant on smoking it to fall asleep. You needed it to fall asleep. You needed it to eat something. You just couldn't do it. Oh, actually, here's a controversial one. A lot of people don't want to speak about this one, but gateway. It is a gateway. A lot of people don't agree with it. How is the weed a gateway, bro? It is a gateway. Ever since I started smoking weed, I guess it depends on the age, but if weed is like the first thing you start, then that's like the entry for you into your like journey of like druggy, like like your druggy lifestyle. That's how everything started. Was from the first day I started smoking weed, that just led to this druggy lifestyle. And here's the last one. Here's the kicker. The one that got me the most is that it's a waste of money. If you think about all the money you spent on weed, all the money you spent on the peripherals like bongs, joints, blunts, all the times I bought Swisher sweets, and lighters and more joints. Sometimes I would go over the top just because you love it so much. You want to get the best of it. You want to get the best weed. You want to go to like the best plug. Sometimes you go to another city, like I'm from Houston, but you go to LA or something, and you want to get like the best weed over there. That's even more money because you don't make as much. If I could go back and track the amount of money that I spent on weed, like, bro, I would have so much more now. I feel like an idiot now that I think about it because I'm like, I could have just saved up and I would have been using it for like my business or school or something, anything. Like, why did I have to spend it on that? And when I look back at it, I'm like, all that money went to nothing. It brought me nothing. It didn't bring me any benefit at all. You don't want to feel that way, but chances are you're already there, and it's time for you to quit and feel better about yourself and the places you're going. Because how are you going to move up in life? How are you trying to make more money, or you have these goals? You want to free your family from financial burden. You want to be the top dog. You want to be the alpha, right? Or the sigma. That's what they call it these days. You want to be that person, but you're so addicted to all these things. This is part 2 of my video. Look at part 1. Watch part 1. It was about porn and lust. That is a big issue for a lot of young men. 18 to 32, that's the age. That's a big difference that's a big issue for a lot of young men. And now we got social media and weed. These might not be that big of an issue, but it's still bringing you down some way. You got to stop. You got to cut it out. You got to get to a point to where you tell yourself, I'm not going to do these things. I'm going to slowly cut this out of my life and I'm going to become better, because that's what God is asking you. That's what I'm asking you to do. That's what you're supposed to be asking yourself. You cut these bad habits out, that's cutting out like 80% of all your problems. You'd be a much better person now. So I believe in you. If you like my content, like it. It really does help the algorithm. Subscribe to me. Tell me in the comments what you like. Tell me in the comments if you want to talk about something else, if you want to hear about something else, and keep moving up in life.